A story told in missing parts, with pieces taken out. A wandering dream with eyes that dart. A land made bare by drought. A history told long ago, a man and child and death, brought to end by bitter means, with horse-made blood-soaked breath. Innocence is but a word, a punishment forgot, and while on with their lives they went, bound there he did not. For long since forgot, and bare of fruit, the field mice did parade, but not until a blackbird did wet roots with silver blade. And now returned in forms unknown, the boogeyman did twitch, to which revenge he sought to wreak. The child was born a witch. The world had long since given up, this timeless scape would show, and how to right the wrongs within a time now long ago. To seek the pieces of their prey, spirit and reason too, the appetite would serve them well, little of which they knew. Alone and yet aside they stood through black and soldered limb. Here they'll find the pith of life, devoid, but such is GRIMM. She runs through the woods, the rain hiding her steps as it pelts the leaves and trees with wet strikes like the tapping of fingers, her face covered with dirt and sweat. The thin white dress clings to her malnourished body as she runs from him. She's painted like a ghost, haunting the woods. She'd be an immortal vision of everlasting life were it not for the fear on her face. Behind her, he pants heavily, closing the distance between them, his bare chest slick with rain, his breath the taste of copper. He screams her name into the night. His words cut through her like sharpened branches cut her frail white skin. She runs for her life, fear beating wildly in her chest. She runs until her lungs burn and her feet bleed. She clutches the dagger tightly, tight enough to redden the alabaster knuckles, tight enough to split her nails. She darts left and right, falling into trees, pushing herself up from the rose bushes, leaving red dots of blood on her legs like a fever. He calls out again to the night. He tells her there's no time for this. He follows her every move, her missteps counted. She breaks from the tree line and into a field. She breaks across the small dirt road, pushing through the tall grass like shallow water. It drags her each step. Her muscles tighten as she presses up the short hill. She turns and he is there. He doesn't move. He holds a hand out, his face pale in the moonlight, his eyes darker than the night. The blade reflects the stars above the tree she stands beneath. I will never go back to that monster. She puts the dagger to her throat and drags it across. It failed her. Marie, you're standing in the center of a cornfield. Looking down, you see the flattened corn husks covering the ground beneath your feet. You can feel the crisp autumn stalks beneath your shoes as the cool wind runs up your spine. You're 13 years old. You have a cast on your left arm like you did when you were younger. You feel smaller in stature, and through thick-rimmed glasses you see a figure before you. The man with blackened skin sports a wrinkled and tattered-looking top hat. On his back he carries a large sack, and his clothes are indecipherable in the dark night. "Welcome to the Grimlands," he says with a wide smile.
Who are you?
He looks up to the night sky again dotted with stars. It illuminates, but there's no moon. Some call me Barker. Others call me merchant. Some call me draper, hawker, pusher, scalper, vendor, trader, peddler. You can call me Ragman. And he lets out a weak, wheezy laugh.
Ragman. Where are we? The Grimm lands?
He nods almost excitedly, eager. He licks his lips, and as he does, you hear a crow caw in the distance. The night is silent. You can hear the rustle of the, or almost silent, I should say, you hear the rustle of the wind through the corn stalks.
What's going on? I was 40. What?
He takes a large sack down off his back and slumps it onto the ground with a thud. It's piercingly loud in the still of the night, and he whips it open, and in the center of his bag are articles. He looks up to you greedily, a new customer of sorts. In the Grimm lands, there's a whole number of things you might need. And looking down, you see sort of odd objects, flashlight, a mirror, key, rose cutters, a bunch of sort of odds and sods. And he sort of waves them with a long, pale hand. And actually amongst these, you notice a backpack. It seems familiar to you. It's the backpack you had when you were growing up.
That's my bag.
No. This is my bag. These are all my things. But I'd be happy to trade with you.
I don't have anything. She goes through her pockets. She's got maybe a house key, and that's about it.
Yeah, so you have a house key in your left pocket. What's in your right pocket?
I would probably have my daddy's lighter in my right pocket.
Okay. And again, you're as you were when you were 13. So tell us what you look like and what you're thinking right now.
Marie stands in the cornfield, feet shuffling awkwardly. Despite being 13 years old, she wears Velcro shoes, pants that are probably a little bit floody. She's got a blue t-shirt on, her hair in pigtails, roll thick glasses, and her blue cast from having broken her arm a couple of months ago. Lots of freckles.
So as you stand there sort of assessing yourself and realizing the shape of things and the last thing that you remember, you look down at the items on his sort of blackened sack, which is now spread out on the corn. And again, you see a flashlight, your backpack, a mirror, a key, rose cutters, harp, plastic comb, and a broken toothbrush. And he looks up to you with his dark eyes and he says, "Are you willing to make a trade?"
What do I have that you want?
I take all matter of things. And while you're thinking, Maddie, you stand on the edge of a frozen lake. The wind whistles loudly, but over the sound of the wind you hear the deep, guttural crack of the ice beneath you. In the center of the ice, you see a figure walking toward you.
I instantly get down on my tummy because I know that's what you're supposed to do when you're on thin ice.
So
I kind of try to move my way backwards off the ice away from the figure walking towards me.
perfect. So you get down onto your belly, you begin sliding away, and as you begin pushing away from the figure, it grows larger and larger. And as you squint, you recognize the figure as your sister JR. And over the wind, you begin hearing her call for help.
Oh my God, JR, are you okay? Get down on your tummy, JR.
When you call
You know how to
her,
do this.
her neck, which is sort of just leaning left to right, calling your name, snaps towards you. And she begins walking fast towards you. And in a gust of what must be snow, her figure changes. And you realize that it's Jane, Luke's sister. And as the wind picks up in the sky, again dark, and you continue to slide back. Are you just lying still, or are you still moving back?
I'm still moving back because I've got all these thoughts like that Jane was dead, and maybe that was just a dream. But I like remember being old and looking. Now I'm looking for Luke. I'm looking for Tam, and I'm looking for Georgie and Marie. And I don't know what's going on here.
So you begin darting around, looking.
I mean, I'm happy she's alive, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
So
because she was just JR.
The ice, and you see just sort of a shield of blackness completely surrounding you in the direction, and she's walking faster towards you, and as she does, her figure begins to elongate. She grows taller almost and begins leaning over you, her teeth growing longer as well, her eyes longer, until the figure almost resembles a hand reaching towards you.
And I'm yelling because I feel like Tam would have like a spell or something to help ward this, like with her marbles or something, and I need Tam here. And I'm looking around, and I start to whimper, and I start to cry a little because I'm terrified. This is not normal.
And as fear begins to wash over you, you hear that same guttural crack beneath your belly. Roll Scamper for me.
Alrighty.
It's going to be a grade 3. And Matty is dead.
All right. Well, I got a 4, and my Scamper is 3.
That means you succeed. That's perfect. So, you hear the crack of the ice beneath your belly, but you react in such a way and such a speed that you push up with your hands, using the ice as momentum to slide you back as the ice gives way and cracks right before you. And as it does, Jane, now this elongated figure, continues walking towards it and steps right into the water and sinks deep into the ice before you can see anything. Tam! You open your eyes to see the rectangular outline of the sky above you, again filled with stars, but no moon. You lay upon soft earth. The smell of rotting wood and dirt invades your senses as your eyes adjust to the dark.
I sit up slowly, pushing my hands into the dirt around me, and I grab whatever sod is on top, and I feel it in my fingers, and I look around me.
Looking around, you're surrounded by 4 walls of dirt, maybe 5 to 6 feet high.
I push myself up, and I brush myself off, and I look around. Is there an exit to these 4 walls?
No, and they're about, again, 6 feet wide by maybe 3 or 4 feet long in maybe 3 or 4 feet in depth, and again 5 or 6 feet, so you can't quite see over top of them.
And yet I can see in here, even though there's no light. Is that what you said?
The sky above you, far above you, is filled with stars, enough to illuminate in a sort of a dim light, but there is no moonlight to speak of.
In that case, I walk along the edge of the walls, and I brush the wall with my hands as I look up at the stars. And I look down at my feet, and I realize they're a lot closer than they used to be, or a moment ago it seems. And I try to reach for the top of the wall.
Okay, and as you run your hand along the wall, loose dirt sort of comes with it, and you reach up. And as you do, you feel what feels to be like a wooden plank sitting next onto, and you feel grass around it.
And so I grab on and I pull myself up.
So you can try. Give me a muscle roll, or we'll say a muscle roll because it's a pretty high wall.
Okay. A 4, and okay. My musculature is 1.
So we're gonna say it was a grade 2 to do it because it is a bit of a wall. But as you try to get yourself up, that board sort of comes back a little bit, and your foot sort of kicks into the dirt wall, leaving a little bit of a foothold as well.
Okay, well I'll use that to help me get up.
Okay, so how do you get out? You manage to get out using the board and sort of the foothold, and how do you do so?
Okay, so being that I kicked a little bit of the dirt out of the wall, I grab the board and I slide it down, and I kind of make a little I don't know, triangle with the board against the floor, against the wall, in the foothold. And I use it as a little bit of extra ledge, a step to get out.
Perfect. And you do, and you emerge onto sort of a soft, dark green grass, and you roll out of what you see was an open grave. And as you look around briefly, you see that you're surrounded by like tombstones and open graves. Georgie, in darkness you hear the pattering of small feet surround you. Your mouth feels dry and bitter, and your body is covered in a sticky substance, and you find it hard to move. You can hear deep bellows of wood groaning around you, like twisting wood. And you hear a voice whisper next to your ear, millimeters away. Georgie?
Who's there?
You spin around trying to move, but only your head is free. You're on your stomach, and as your eyes adjust to the near pitch black, you can make out a very dim red light at the end of what seems to be a long tunnel. But the tunnel is small, and your hands are bound to either side of you.
I'm gonna try to squint. Am I wearing my glasses right now? Can I feel them?
No, your glasses are not, but you can feel them in your pocket.
Okay. Who's there? Where am I? What's going on?
So, as your eyes sort of adjust to that dimness, you realize that your head is again surrounded by what appears to be a mud tunnel. And looking left and right, you only see the reflection of that dim red light on the walls.
Okay. And I start to recognize where I am or what the situation is, and I begin to crawl towards the red light, slamming through the mud.
Okay, so you begin to move, and what you feel is almost like a sticky webbing that sort of encompasses you. It's between your armpits and all over you, but it's not tight necessarily. It just feels like it's eating away at your shirt and maybe your skin as well. And as you begin pulling, small bits of your shirt tear away with it, but you can move towards the end of the tunnel.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going as far as I can, try to make myself as small and as possible, and try not to touch the walls as best as I can do. Can I do a roll for that? Or?
Yes, give me let's say it's not difficult, so it's not necessarily like a muscle, but we can just say scamper if you'd like.
Scamper, sure. Okay. So I got a 3 on the die, and then I've got a 1 scamper, level 1 scamper.
You have a level 1 scamper?
Yeah.
Okay, again, it's not difficult, so you do tend to start moving forward, and the mud is dragging down your shirt and sort of coating your chest. And as you do, you realize that your feet are much closer than you thought you were, and you feel more energetic, more excited almost. Nervous, of course, but something about you feels youthful as you begin moving towards the end of the tunnel. And you do end up making it to the other side and tumbling out, but describe that crawl.
Okay. So as I'm starting to feel like the walls are closing in around me, I manage to reach out with one arm and pull myself up along the rest of the path into the red light, and I overcompensate and I roll myself out and land on a damp surface.
You do.
As I roll around, I reach for my pocket instinctively to feel for my glasses.
And you do, and you pull them out instantly and slide them on your face.
And as I do, I realize that they are my glasses from my childhood, and not the glasses that somehow seemed more familiar.
And as you slide them on, you see the dimly lit burrow of some creature's home. The floor is wet but trodden, and the walls have sconces shoved in them haphazardly. And you hear something in the distance, a guttural growling of sorts. Marie, you're looking down at the various wares that the man has presented to you. And he looks at you with a smile. Speak up, dear. If you have something to say, I'm here to listen.
Mr. Ragman, that I know for sure is my backpack. It's got my keychain on it, and I think that you should give it back to me. I don't have very much to give you in return, but if you want a song or maybe a hug.
His laugh, which is wheezy, sort of echoes out in the field. Again, you hear the crows caw in the distance. And he looks you up and down and says, hug. I'd trade anything, dear. A story, a riddle, a joke, a wish, a dream. A song sounds delicious. You can sing me your song.
And then you'll give me my bag?
And he reaches down and he picks up. And he looks at the bag. And describe your backpack.
It is purple, and the piping is white, and it's kind of discolored, and the straps are kind of like mangly where they've been slung over one shoulder too many times. It's got like a stain on the bottom.
So it's a real life backpack.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Why don't you give me a bit of a cool roll?
Oh boy. Okay, Marie's not cool. 6!
Hey, so that means you're going to perform above if you roll again.
2.
Okay, so that's a success. So you've now succeeded at one above your grade. So what's your listed grade?
1.
So now you succeed at level 2, grade 2. Okay, that's good. Okay, so he looks at you. And he sort of weirdly sits onto the ground and sort of tucks his knees up toward himself. And his knees are sharp and bony. And again, in the dark, you can't really make out the features of his face. You just see the long teeth and the dark eyes beneath the brim of his top hat. And he sort of sits and then crosses his legs. And when he's sitting, he looks up at you, which is now more at eye level because he's a fairly tall guy. And he says, sing.
So Marie clasps both of her hands behind her back and she sings. Last night I got home early, stopped in on my way by. I saw you, but you couldn't see me. I was in the shadows of the night. I tapped lightly on the window, but you couldn't hear. I guess it all figured, so I just disappeared. The moon was hiding well behind an odd-shaped cloud. It looked like a dragon. I bet its roar would be loud, but I know that you don't love me. You didn't take the time, and me when I loved you, it was in the shadows of the night.
And the man sits there for a long moment, just smiling. And his eyes sort of search, not you, but sort of the area. He sort of looks around as if coveting like a prize. And he stands up, and again, taller than you even remember him. And he reaches a long hand out holding the backpack, and he drops it at your feet.
Thank you.
And he folds up his wares, and he begins sort of twisting them, and he slings them over his back as he turns toward the cornfield. And he stops, and he turns, and he says, "Should you want to barter again, just shed a tear." And he steps into the cornfield, and he's gone. Maddie, you are sitting just past a hole in the ice where you've just seen the body of Jane fall into. And yeah, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm basically sitting on the edge, hugging my knees and rocking back and forth, and I'm still kind of looking around and wondering where Tam is and where Georgie is,
and as you go to look,
wondering why I'm so alone again.
You turn to the right a little bit, and you turn back, and you feel a soft, warm hand on your shoulder.
What the?
And you turn, and you see Luke.
Luke?
And with warm eyes, he looks down at you and says, "Maddie?"
And I stand up and hug him. I'm like, "Oh my God, Luke! I'm so happy to see you."
And
I mean, and I push him away a bit. I'm like,
but he holds on. And as you feel, Luke,
yeah, no, that's not weird. It's not weird. It's cool.
But you feel him and his like, you can feel his ribs almost. He feels like thinner than the last time you hugged him. And as you step back, you realize that his hair is a bit more matty, and there's a bit of mud on his face, and the look in his eyes is hope and excitement, and almost like he doesn't believe you. And he steps back. He says, "Maddie, is it really you?"
Luke, yeah. Are you okay? You look kind of sick, Luke.
And you can see the tears starting to well in his eyes, and he says,
No. I mean, no. Like, you good.
No, you don't understand where we are. It's been, I don't know. Time doesn't work here the same way it did. And he hugs you again, and again he like grabs you and breathes you in, like it has been years since he's seen you.
And I give him a few pats in the back. Maddie, it's okay. It's okay. We got this. We can handle this. And I look around still for Georgie and Tam, thinking we need them to handle this. And
he looks back and he says, "We need who?
What? Just Tam, Marie, Georgie.
Tam, Georgie, they're here. They're both here.
Well, and I'm trying to picture back because I've got this vision of like being an adult and sliding through this thing, but again, it's like it's all so fucked in my head right now.
Yeah,
but I'm
like,
course. I think they're here. I feel like they're here.
And you see the excitement.
Yes, Georgie is here. We're looking for Georgie.
And he says,
"Do you know where Georgie is?"
"Come on, no, but I know how to get to where he might be." And he begins running in a very specific direction on what seemingly is just the ice. And he says, "Come on!" And he kind of stops and he
Luke, don't run on the ice, man.
No, it's fine. It's thicker this way.
And I kind of like hesitate because I'm looking back at like whatever that was that just went through the ice and trying to figure out if it really is thick. But seeing that Luke seems to be okay, I'll chase after him because I don't want to be stuck with whatever that was.
So you begin following him, and as you do, he sort of waits for you and holds a hand out, eager to grab it.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like, whoa, stop.
No. Like
hold my hand and run through the field of ice.
Yeah, exactly. Like that Sting song, but reversed. And he grabs your hand and he like takes it, but not in a forceful or a scared way, like in a we're not alone anymore way. And he takes it, and as he does, he begins moving, and in the distance you begin to see the shoreline, although it's pretty far off. But where he's heading towards is sort of this grayish fog almost. And again, you can see it in the dim light. And he lets go of your hand, and he takes a few steps forward, and he stops. And he turns back, and he says, "Come on, Maddie." He says, if you can't see it, it can't hurt you. And he closes his eyes and turns around and begins walking through the fog.
Like backwards?
No, he just turns to you so you can see him.
Oh, I see. And then he closes
and then
his
he
eyes
turns, and then he
forward.
continues walking towards the shore through the fog.
Okay. So I'll close my eyes, but I'm not going to actually walk. I'll kind of like shuffle my feet forward with my arms out like
Okay.
wide.
So you begin walking. Are your eyes closed?
Yeah. And
Perfect.
I just keep bringing my hands like
Yeah. So you
around.
you sort of feel, and you're walking through this fog. Presumably, you can't see it; it's just darkness. And after a fair amount of time, maybe like a 5-minute walk, you hear Luke's voice. He says, "Okay, we made it. You can open your eyes."
And I still hesitate a little because I don't know what's going on. But I'm kind of do one of these things where, and then sort of like try to focus just on Luke. What's going on, Luke?
And you do open your eyes, and you see Luke standing on the shore, and he says, "It's okay. If you can't see it, it can't hurt you." And he just kind of motions, and you look back, and you see that the fog is just this thick, dense gray fog. And when you turn back to Luke, he's heading up this small slope on the autumn leaves, sort of crunching, and he's heading towards a large mill.
Okay, and I pick up my pace a little bit because I don't want to be left alone here.
Okay.
Just in case I get tempted to look back.
And you skip up towards Luke, and he enters the building, which is open. The doors are large and open, and inside the bare bones of an ancient mill, dust thick on the wheels, and the grain silo long since ground, and just nothing but dust left. He climbs on an ancient rusted machine like a dinosaur bone and sort of begins scaling up towards it, and he looks back excitedly, now having someone to share this with, and surprisingly energetically he hops down and continues across the other side.
All right. Again, more that I don't want to be left here alone, and that I know that for some reason we're looking for Georgie. I will follow.
And you do, and as you follow through, he continues to the other side, and it opens up again to a dirt road. And next to the dirt road, maybe kitty corner to the left, is you see the tall stalks of a cornfield. Across the road, or straight across, I should say, is the road continues, again, side to the field. There's a forest to the right. And to the left of this immediate building you've just exited out of is another large building. And you can actually see the door, through the bottom of the door, there's sort of a yellowish light glowing. And Luke sort of looks at the door nervously, and then back at you.
What are we doing, Luke?
It's okay. We're going to find Georgie. And he begins walking. Tam, you are standing in a graveyard as you hear the sound of metal striking earth. And you turn, and maybe 5 rows down from the grave you emerged from, you see a shovel lifting, receiving dirt, and dumping it onto the ground next to the open grave.
So I look around me, and I see that there's a dandelion, and I pick it up. I kind of shrug my shoulders, thinking, well, I don't know whose this belongs to, but even if it is mine, I would hope someone would do this. And I bring the flower over to the grave top, and I put the flower down. And I kind of...
on the headstone?
On the headstone.
Okay.
And then I turn, and I walk over to the person, and I kind of skip over to the person shoveling.
Okay, just as a matter of... So when you pick up the dandelion and you put it down, but you notice that when you put it down, it's a twig.
Oh. But it was a dandelion before.
It was.
And I picked the twig up.
And it's a twig.
Don't you want to be a dandelion? And I stick it back in the ground, like as if like to plant it again.
And as you do, it remains a twig, sort of just sticking up.
Well, I'm sorry. And I put it in the grave, and I actually hop back into the grave, and I bury it, and then get back up.
Perfect. So you climb back out of the grave, and you stand next to the headstone, and you...
And I start skipping again to the person who's shoveling dirt.
So you skip over to a little grave. It's smaller than the others. It's about half the size, but there's a large, burly man in it. At least from the back of him is what he looks like. You see the graying hairs peeking out of his cap. You see the pale blue shirt with a collar clung to his back, but there's holes in it. It's ratted and old. And you see his hands, calloused and thick, scooping up dirt and dumping it to the area beside the grave.
Good evening, burly man.
And he continues shoveling, and he says, "Oh, I didn't hear you there."
Can I tell you something?
"Of course you can tell me something," he says as he continues sort of shoveling.
It's more of a warning. Don't pick the dandelions.
"Oh, there's no dandelions that grow here, child," he says, and he continues sort of shoveling.
What are you doing?
"I'm digging a grave. Do you want to help?"
Sure. And is there a shovel nearby?
There is. There's a small shovel sort of sticking out of the pile that he's shoveling onto the ground.
My mom always told me that, death is part of life. So really, you're a pretty big part of that. I keep shoveling.
"I'm a bigger part than you can imagine." He continues shoveling, all the while not turning towards you. And he begins sort of humming.
And I stop shoveling.
"You don't want to help anymore?"
What song are you singing?
"Oh, it's an old one. I doubt you'd know it."
I should probably get going.
And
I step on the shovel, put it in the dirt, and kind of step back.
And he reaches out to you and grabs you in a way that is surprising for his reach. You feel his calloused hand, almost like tree bark, around your thin wrist.
I didn't mean to bother you. Please let me go.
And he holds you in a way that your arm can slide up and down in his grip, but it just locks at the wrist. All the while, his face still turned away from you. "I need your help. I can't seem to read the gravestone. Can you tell me what name is on here?" And as he looks to you, you see that his eyes have been carved out, and they're hollow black pits. Dried, ancient black blood dripped down his cheeks, scars painting his cheeks as he does. And he looks towards you expectantly.
I can help you. And I look. Can I see the gravestone from where I am, or does he need to let go of me first?
No, you can see it from where you are.
I'll read it for you. And I fearfully tear my gaze away from him, as hard as it is. I look down at the gravestone and I go to read it.
And it says, "Here lies Alder Moonshine."
I think you made the grave too big.
And he doesn't let go of your hand, and he says, "I think you should help me finish it."
And I go and I pick up the shovel again.
Georgie, you're standing in the hallway, again, the guttural sort of growling at the end of a long, dark hallway.
And my dad's voice rings into my ears. "Georgie, if you ever lose your way, you can't find where you are. Take a breath, take in your surroundings."
And actually, as you hear that voice, you realize it's the same voice that was in the tunnel that whispered Georgie into your ear.
And gradually, my heart rate starts to slow, and my breathing begins to steady. And I begin looking around, looking for any other way. Is it just a hallway?
It looks like it's just a hallway. And as you're sort of standing in this hallway, you realize that there are other similarly sized holes like the one that you just climbed out of. But they're too dark to see what's at the back of them.
Gradually, I begin stepping forward through the damp ground. And at every hole, I stop and I listen. And then when I don't hear anything, I keep going.
And you do take a step to one of the holes. And give me a listen roll. I think that's a skill.
Yeah, I think
Isn't
it is.
Nope, maybe not.
Seek.
Seek. Give me a seek roll.
Okay. Do. There we go. Success at a grade 4 level.
You don't see anything, but you hear sort of a frail breathing at the end of one of the tunnels.
Hello?
Next to you, maybe just a little bit down, is a wall sconce with a flickering red candle.
Well, I reach up to it, I pull it down.
And it comes clean from the wall. It's sort of stuck in with a spike to the mud wall.
Perfect. And I hold it towards the dark hole.
And shaking, you hold it towards the hole as far back as your arm can reach. And at the end, you see the frail, rotting face of a young child. The black webbing has almost entirely consumed it, to the point where its brain is exposed and its eye has long since broken, and its jaw is exposed, and its hands are tied to either side. The hair on its head is all but matted and fallen off, and it looks at you through a dead eye and just begs for death.
I recoil away instantly, dropping the light, and back against the mud wall, and instantly I begin hyperventilating and trying to calm myself again.
And you begin to hear and decipher the scent of what lies within these long hallways that you've climbed out of. The souls that didn't fight like you did, that didn't have a purpose to climb out. And after a moment of composure, you pick the sconce back up.
I remember Tam, and I remember Maddie and Marie, and I wonder whether they're in here too, or if they're still back where we were. And taking a deep breath, I begin striding forward towards the only way I can go.
And as you reach the end of the hall, the light begins to grow, and you hear that the growling is not actually a growling, but a snoring.
I think that's odd, and I gingerly approach the sound, try not to make any sound.
And as you sort of creep towards the end of the hall, you lean around and you see a figure lying in a bed next to a red fire. In this room of mud wall and sort of roots that are sticking out through the ceiling, you see, again, the wall sconces, the red flame of the fire, a small table, a small kitchen area, all made of wood and handcrafted. The figure on the bed doesn't seem to be human, but you can't quite decipher what it is, just that it's large, about the size of an adult.
What's the texture of its skin look like?
It's wearing what seems to be a cloak, and it's sleeping next to the fire, with its back towards you.
Okay. I'm going to try to sneak into the room. Did you say there's a door?
Yeah, there is a door on the far side of the area.
Okay. And not taking my eyes off of this being, I am going to try to sneak towards the door And once I get closer to that area, I'm going to try to look around again to see if there's any sort of weapon, anything I can grab just in case he wakes up.
Give me a seek.
Okay. Success at a grade 4.
Wow. Yeah. So you not only see next to the door, sort of what looks to be a very, like a wrought iron walking stick almost. But you notice something else. Hanging next to the mantle of the fireplace, you see a black key. It's relatively small, but it's hanging almost dead center on a simple hook.
I looked at the door. Is there a key lock on there?
It does have a like a regular lock.
Okay. I'm going to grab it.
Okay. So it's relatively close to the sleeping creature. So you will have to roll a
Yeah, something.
sneaky.
What did you say? A hide, maybe?
Yes, that would be perfect to hide.
What did you say was the other item in the room? Sorry.
The other item in the room is it's by the exit door, and it's like a wrought iron walking cane.
Okay. I'm going to go for the weapon first.
Okay. So that's on the exit, though. You know that.
How far? Well, yeah, I know. I just figure that the weapon would be better to have than the key.
Okay. Oh, in
Try.
case she wakes up. It
In
wakes up.
case he wakes up, yeah.
Perfect.
It.
So, yeah, give me it's going to be a simpler hide to get across to the thing. Oh, there you go.
Yep, success at a grade 5.
Yeah, you walk over pretty silently, and you realize you're not wearing shoes. So on the mud ground, your feet are almost silent, and you slip across and you grab the wrought iron cane, as it were. It's heavy in your hands, and it's blackened. It might even be a poker, but because it's so large in your hands and the way it's designed, it feels like a cane. But you have it.
All right. So again, not taking my eyes off of this thing, I'm going to hold up the bar and begin sliding back over to where the key is.
Okay. So you begin taking steps towards the creature, which snores loudly, loud enough that reverberates off the walls of this mud hut. The light flickers on the walls, creating sort of a texture. It glints across the glasses of your glasses, I should say, and for a moment you feel like you're walking into a dream as you approach the fireplace.
I wonder if this is the fireplace. And then I don't think any more of it, and I reach for the key. Do you want me to do another hide?
Yeah. This is a tough one, man.
Do I...
You can focus. If
Okay.
you focus, a 5 or 6 will give you a level up rather than just a 6.
I am going to go ahead and focus.
Yes. I don't think there's a cost for focusing, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I think it's just
And this
your
isn't a study trade, is it?
This is
no, playground.
not a study trade, no.
Come on, 5. 4. Damn it.
And so that's a
So
level.
that's at a grade 5.
Grade 5.
Yeah.
You step next to the sleeping creature, and your hand outstretched towards the key. You place your fingertips on the black iron of the key and slide it off the hook silently. And as you bring your hand back towards, you hear the snoring stop. For just a moment, as you slip the key into your pocket and head back towards the door. The creature continues snoring.
How long are its arms?
Actually, as you were right next to it, you could see through the gray, matted, almost wet, greasy hair through its eyes. You could see that its eyes were shut, but it had an elongated nose, its skin almost the color of charcoal, its teeth stuck out from apart from its lips. Its hand was almost twice the size of yours, but broken and shifted through years of broken bones, and again, the nails longer and more and thicker than any human nail.
I have no confidence right now. So I slide back towards the door, freaked out by this thing, and I slide the key into the lock.
And it is too small.
Oh, go figure. Okay. Slide it into my pocket and try to open the door.
And the door opens. But you got a key.
I got a key. This is something.
With a sort of a iron clink, the door swings open quietly, and you step out into a cooler night next to a dirt road. Marie, you are standing in the cornfield alone.
First thing I do is I unzip my backpack. I put it on so that it's like front-wise.
Okay.
Unzip it, and
Classic
I go
style.
through. Yeah, make sure it's all there.
Okay.
So I got.
I just
Yep,
want you
I
to
got
know
it.
that if you rolled bad and to that bluff or whatever, he was just gonna dump the shit and give you the backpack because that's what you asked for. But you roll well.
Boo. Yeah, everything's in there. I go rifle through all my belongings. Like,
Yeah.
whew, got it all. And then I start looking around, and it kind of dawns on me. Something really terrible has happened. I'm like remembering flashbacks of my job. Is this a dream? She like looks up at the sky. Is the sun out?
So no, it's all of you are bathed in night, I suppose. But there's no moon in the sky. It's just filled with stars, but more stars than you've ever seen. Stars that shouldn't exist for a cursory look, and especially when you reach the night sky, Georgie, being sort of prone to looking at the night skies with your father, you realize that whatever sky you're looking at is not the one that should be seen from Earth.
Okay, Marie, you can do this. Just a cornfield and a scary man. She zips up her backpack, throws it on her back, and starts tentatively walking. She just picks a direction,
Which one?
just randomly.
Okay. So you start walking a direction, and roll a 1d4, I guess.
Okay. 4.
That's extremely convenient. So you begin walking through the cornfield, and again, the tall stalks feel damp almost within your hands as you separate them. There's something off about them. They're strung together with sort of like a silken thread that doesn't quite cover them entirely. Some of them are sticky, and in the dim light, you can't quite make out exactly why, but something about this cornfield feels wrong.
She pulls a leaf close to her nose and smells it.
Give me a 4H roll.
I don't have any ranks in that, I don't think.
Okay.
Can I even roll it?
Yes. Yeah, because you get a 6, right?
Yeah,
Or maybe
I
don't know.
suppose.
Try it. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Let's do science.
Let's just do.
Nope.
Nope. So you smell it, and it smells like.
Ew.
But it does feel
This is
sticky. in your
gross.
hands. And
Rubs her hands on her pants.
And you continue moving through, and after only a short walk, you come to the edge of the field. And as you press through the last stalks of corn, you stand next to a man-made fence, sort of made of ancient wood, the wood grain deep in the grooves. It sort of sits haphazardly jointed together, and a dirt road sits on the other side of it. And just past it, you see a figure standing.
Marie stands very quietly, very still, and watches the figure.
And Georgie, you've just seen a figure approach from the cornfield across the road that you stand at. Figure it out, guys. I don't know what you want to do. That's where you're at.
Is the figure on the road kid-sized?
You can't see because he's against the tree line. And you can't
But-
quite see because it's just the cornfield. So
Now, do I still have that Scots, that candle?
uh,
I don't think I would, because I took
I don't
the
think you would have. No,
bar. Okay.
both just equally stand frozen.
Yeah, Marie kind of takes one sidestep behind a stalk of corn.
And I kind of mark that as odd, and I say, hello? And I turn back to where the door was that I came from, the hollow. How far away am I from that?
You're only about 10 feet from the road. It sits back within a grove of trees. But you realize that it's sort of within the ground a little bit. So you've naturally just walked up a few set of sod steps to the edge of the road.
Okay. So carefully, I'm gonna go the opposite direction that she goes. She
Okay.
kind of goes behind a stalk, and I'm gonna stalk the opposite way a little bit.
Okay.
Marie does a stage whisper. Are you a monster?
No, are you?
No. I'm a little girl.
Oh, good. I'm a little boy. I'm gonna cross the street.
Okay. Wait. And she pulls out her lighter and flicks it. And so there's just a little pin flame.
And Georgie, you see illuminated the face of a young girl that you recognize.
And as I'm crossing the street, I say, Marie? Is that you?
Georgie, get off the road.
Okay. And I look both ways out of habit and just jog across, ducking down.
Okay. And Maddie, Luke is leading you down a dirt road.
And I'm following.
Yeah, I was gonna say. And you pass sort of to the right of you is a large field of corn. Near the end of the road he's walking you on is a large barn, and close to the riverfront, to the waterfront, the frozen water, is a house. But as you look at it, something seems off about it. And Luke continues walking, almost at a jog now. What?
Nothing. No, it's
Everything
okay.
seems off about everything.
Yes, honestly.
And he sort of rounds the end of this dirt road, and as he does, he stops in front of a building. Stops in front of a small drive, a dirt road that leads up to a walled area. And he stands and he looks back at you.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking around and feeling nervous, so I reach into my satchel,
Yeah?
my Indiana Jones like satchel, and I reach in and I get my whip, which is again just made out of an old leather guitar strap with hockey tape around as a handle.
No.
And I'm feeling just a little bit braver now, ready to take on whatever's coming.
Okay. And Luke turns to you and says, she'll be here any second.
Who will be here, Luke?
Tam, you shovel the last bit of dirt up to the side of the grave as the grave digger stands out and gives you a hand out of the grave.
Don't you think I should make it deeper?
It doesn't need to be any deeper than that, he says. He reaches his large hand into his pocket and searches for a moment and comes out and holds his hand out to you and opens it. And in the center of his hand is a gold coin.
I don't need to be paid for this.
It's yours. And he grabs your hand and puts it in your small hand. And he sticks his shovel into the ground next to the gravestone and begins walking away.
I look at the coin, both sides of it.
And it looks odd. There's 2 scratches in one side and 1 scratch in the other side. But other than that, it just seems to be a gold coin of some sort. And as you look back up to the grave digger, he's gone. The graveyard is surrounded by a stone wall, and there seems to be an exit to the south of you, or to what you perceive to be the south.
So I grab the shovel, and I kind of put it over my shoulder, and I go to leave. But as I pick my shovel up, I notice something that's been turned up in the dirt. I reach down and it's an acorn, and it started to sprout a little bit. So I put it in my pocket, and I start to walk, not in a sad way or anything. I kind of walk in a kind of an upbeat way, whistling to myself as I head towards the exit of the graveyard.
And the exit is open for you. The wrought iron gates are sort of wedged, unmoving in the wind. There's overgrowth on either side of them, surrounding them, the weeds wrapping them and holding them in place. And as you begin down the short dirt road, you see Maddie at the bottom. And
Hi, Maddie.
And Maddie, just as you hear Tam call out, her walking down the small drive, you see Luke running away.
What?
Did I see Luke?
Tam, come. Luke, he's...
No,
Come.
you didn't see Luke.
Hurry, Tam, let's go get Luke.
Okay, who? Luke?
Luke.
Okay, and I follow after him.
Maddie, you chase Luke down the way you came, straight south along the same dirt road, the same ominous house to your right now, the mill and the door with the light on underneath it to your left, and he rounds another dirt corner. Tam, you chase him the entire way. And Maddie, as you round the corner, you see a very young-looking Marie and Georgie standing in the middle of the dirt road as well. And Tam, you turn the corner to see Matt standing in front of the two of them as well.
I catch up to them and I'm dragging the shovel behind me, going, oh, I shouldn't have brought the shovel. And I kind of drop it at their feet.
Okay. And you're all together again for the first time.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Oh, you guys, you're here. I thought I was alone. It's good to see you.
And I give Georgie a hug. Because I feel like for some reason I was there to find him. And I found you. Georgie, we found you. And hi, Marie?
Hi.
And then I get all
Hey, I recognize you from school.
Yeah. I mean,
I recognize you from more than school.
is this a dream? What's happening? Did you guys see a scary man?
Yeah, I saw a scary man. It's not safe here. We need to get back. What? This isn't. I don't think this is Earth at all. The stars are all wrong. Maybe it's the southern hemisphere.
Stars can't be wrong. They're just stars, Georgie.
And I'm pretty sure Luke told me that as long as you don't look at the man, if you keep your eyes closed, we're good.
Keep our eyes closed. What?
Just don't let the bad man see you, or don't see him, or don't look at the bad man. Just keep your eyes closed, and then we're safe. It
Wait.
worked. Luke and I walked through the fog.
Luke?
Fog, Luke. What are you talking about, Maddie? And Tam,
Wait,
why do you have a shovel?
Guys,
Hold on.
Luke's dead.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
What?
And I
No,
think
just
back. Do I remember the deal, Harlan?
Yeah.
He's not dead.
The four of you, sorry, just to let you know, the four of you remember the events of 1982 very clearly. The three of you that belong to Seba, along with Luke, remember the death of Jane. You remember Thomas Edwards. You remember finding him in the barn, and you remember everything that transpired afterwards, including the night at the riverbank with the man. That's the last memory that feels fresh. Marie, you also remember your sister and the details of her death and the subsequent feelings towards the three of these guys and how they might be involved. The 35 years afterwards, to the four of you, are still in your mind, but they feel like dreams. They feel as though you fell asleep in 1982, dreamt of a long life lived, and woke up now And that's the feeling that lingers. You remember the investigation that followed. You remember the symbol. You remember the feelings that you had at Luke's funeral. You remember all of it, but almost like a vivid dream.
Marie, I don't just know you from school. I know you. Guys, we've been brought here.
This is so fucked up. I'm sorry.
Careful.
I had a dream about being in a restaurant and being dragged through a fireplace. But it feels more real, you know? Did that happen? Do you guys remember something like that?
Yeah, I went in after someone. I think, was it you, Maddie? Georgie?
I think it was me. But listen, guys, I've only been awake for 10 minutes, and I already know that this place is not somewhere we want to stay. We need to get back.
Yeah.
Like
We do.
home?
Yeah. But do you really want to stay here, Maddie?
Well,
Maybe.
and yeah, I looked down and I got my whip and I got what I've got as close to my Indiana Jones hat as possible because I couldn't afford a fedora, so I had this like adventure hat. And I'm thinking, I don't know, this is kind of a cool place. Like we could fight things. We could be like, why would we go back? School, there was bullies and stuff.
Listen, I remember I was at his funeral. Luke died when I was old, and I don't know why I'm young now or where we are. But if Luke's here, then maybe my sister's here. And I don't know, none of you guys are older sister, but you gotta find your little sister. That's just what you have to do. So I'm
Maddie,
gonna find her.
No,
You said you saw
I saw
Luke.
JR.
What?
But it wasn't like my
JR's
little sister.
here?
Well, no, it was like some. I don't know. I just saw stuff and it wasn't real. It's fine. But I saw her and I saw Jane.
Are you sure
But-
she's not here?
Well, I kind of just look around and look at the stars because every time I look at the stars, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. We should go get Luke.
I put a steadying hand on Marie. And
She's breathing really fast.
I say, Marie, when we find your sister, what are we going to do then?
We'll take her back.
Okay, so we need to find a way back too, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, I remember the spell, and it was protecting, and maybe because of that, our worlds are closer together, and maybe that's why we're here.
Yeah, I fired a gun.
Are you saying we're in a
Oh,
different world, Tim?
Oh,
Like a different dimension?
well, it's not really a different world. It's like I've known this place for a long time. I've kind of like visited here. Sometimes when I'm bored in school and things like that, I dream of these places, and I dream of people and things that want to be part of our world but can't. Does that make sense?
Nope.
I look down and there's a caterpillar, and I pick it up.
I guess it kind of makes sense.
You know, like
for
sometimes
you.
something wants to be part of a different world but can't. And as I'm talking, the caterpillar goes into a cocoon and flies away as a butterfly. But
And
sometimes
just for your own reference, as you're watching Tam she picks up a stone from the ground, and she
Okay.
holds it, and then she tosses it.
Okay.
Cool.
And this is just sounding like more like Tam Luke speak than anything else. So I'm just letting Tam go and being like, yeah, no, that's good, yeah.
Okay.
Guys.
And
Well,
then looking for Georgie to make more sense of it.
either way, whether it's a dimension or a different version of this world. We have to find a way out. And Marie, I'll help you find your sister.
Thanks, Georgie.
Maybe she is here. I don't know.
Okay, we gotta think smart about this. We all came from different places, or at least I found Georgie and then you guys found us. So, where were you?
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
I think that's why she just asked, Georgie.
As the four of you stand in the road, again, the sky above you, filled with stars, the dim light sort of creating outlines of everything, but everything's bathed in a gray, a black and white almost. There's lack of any color. But all at once, the four of you each see the orange-red haze illuminating each other's faces. You see Marie's face bathed in sort of an orange glow. You see Mattie's bathed almost entirely, half of Georgie's and half of Tam's, as there's a light on the horizon. And the four of you turn quickly to see just past the corner of the field on the horizon the bright orange flames of a fire licking the sky. And we are going to stop there for the mid-game post.
Oh, that was fast.
I was like, wow, yeah, that's what I was just thinking. We're already mid-game.
Well, it's a bit early, but ladies and gentlemen, hello. It is Wednesday night. Welcome. We're back with GRIMM Chapter 7. This is a game that has been a long time in the making. These guys have been doing such a fantastic job. Joe's even wearing real glasses, and it's hurting her eyes to do it. So welcome back. If you haven't seen GRIMM 1 to 6, you shouldn't be watching this, so go back. This is the most exciting part of the game. This is when we actually get to the Grimlands. It is, of course, an 18-plus show. If you have not been made aware so far, the Invictus stream is always 18-plus because we say no it's. You noticed that Rich Brown was the MVP. He had a fantastic post that I highly recommend you go check out. It's on the Facebook group. I am going to post the mid-game question. It's a different one today, though, because we have a very special reward, as it is, for the mid-game post. Typically, the mid-game post is the point of the show where we stop the action and we go to you guys in the community and we ask a question about the game. But a very good friend of the stream and a very good friend of mine, Mr. Dustin Wright, has who works at Chaosium, the company who makes Call of Cthulhu, has very generously donated a Call of Cthulhu Keeper's Handbook PDF to the winner of the mid-game post tonight. That's right. So it's a very exciting little foray tonight. And as such, what's that?
Can I answer?
No.
I'm gonna get ready. Why not?
And as such, the question isn't going to be necessarily just geared towards this game, but geared towards the spirit of Justin's generosity and so on and so forth. So, question tonight is going to be pretty straightforward. It is going to be, what is the name of the organization that we are working towards or with this month? It's a two-word organization. I say it every stream. So I'm going to post right now, and all you have to do is comment on the post on the Invictus group, the Facebook group. So here's a good reason to have joined the group. If you are joining now, you will not get to comment. So the mid-game post is going to be, what is the name of the charity organization that we are working with? We'll just say with, because I don't really know. And it is posted now. So if you comment with the correct answer, and only comment once, please. No joke comments, because it's going to be too fucking tough to count them all. Just comment with the correct answer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a 1D something. I can't imagine 100 people are watching this, so it's got to be at least 20. So if it's more, we'll just roll more. And that person will win a copy of the Keeper's Handbook from Chaosium, the Call of Cthulhu Keeper's Handbook. So thank you, Dustin, first off. Fucking awesome. That is fantastic. Such a kind and generous thing. Dustin's an awesome guy, and he's had
crazy cool.
So cool, and he's had a bit of tough luck, I should say, because of the hurricane that just passed through his area. So much love to Dustin, and for doing this is a very sweet thing. So I hope everyone's enjoying the show so far. I'm definitely enjoying seeing you guys back in action, especially as kids. like that. Because it's nice. Because that's, to me, like half the fun of Grimm is like being crazy, kooky kids.
Because it's so different from when we normally hang out.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
this time
very
we don't have to
mature
feel
group.
bad for being terrible.
I'm loving the wig hat combination.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You sort of look like the crocodile hunter. Look at that, mate. Oh, he's dead. That makes me sad. Anyway,
Aw.
But he died doing what he loved.
He did.
Getting speared in the
stung by
heart.
a- Yeah,
Stingray.
by a stingray. Oh man, that guy was cool. Every once in a while, there's the good ones have to go. It's sad. Anyway, this Friday night, I want to mention is a spooky stream. Where's the spooky
What?
sound? Oh, here we go.
Really? What are you playing?
I'm playing Alien Isolation, which is a fucking fantastic game. I am so excited because this month, because of the blank blank charity that we're doing, it is I get to play like my favorite horror games because I'm not doing new stuff. I'm just doing like my favorites. So we started off with Outlast, which was great, and then we did Dead Space, which I liked a lot more than I remembered. So great recommendation, Zia. Because she was the one that was like, oh, you should play it. And halfway through, I was like, yeah, this game's actually really fucking fun. So, and Alien Isolation I'm playing this week. And I'm really excited for it because if you have not played Alien Isolation, but you like the Alien series, or you just like Alien movies or whatever, it is great. It is literally a movie experience. You're in the eyes of a person trapped on a massive dark spaceship with an alien. It's fucking fantastic. I really enjoyed it. Only problem is it's like a 15-hour game, so there's no way we're getting through it. So we're just going to be like running as fast as we can. And then next week, the final Friday of this month, we are going to be doing my favorite horror game of all time, Layers of Fear. And I'm really excited about that. And if you have not played that or know nothing about it, you got to come to that one because it is going to be fucking off the hook. It is a game about a painter. And it's like perfect length for the spooky stream because it's like 2, maybe 3 hours. And it's just about a painter who's like crazy. It's really fucking good. So that's this Friday night. So be there. Starts at 9. I want everyone there because I want to hang out and chat. And we're going to like share stories, yo.
As you do.
As I
would
tend
like
to
to
do.
see. I would like to see a movie that's like shot like live action, like a real like serious movie, but all of the dialogue is as if that like is actually a video game character being played by someone who's streaming online.
Yeah.
So it's just like, Kurt Russell going around this alien ship, just like, but the voice of Harlan. So, and like Zia says this, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, the other day I was going down the street.
No one wants that. That's awesome, though. I mean, no one wants my
One
voice.
person.
I like that idea, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11. Doesn't really roll well with a D10. How do
D12?
How do we make that?
Yeah, do
that?
D12.
Just cut,
You
okay,
can-
then we roll a 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna roll for this, guys. If you already have the Call of Cthulhu Keeper's Handbook, then I guess you can just gift it to somebody else. Maybe keep the love going forward. But here we go. 1d12, and we are going with drum roll number 5. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Webbers, Michael and Brienne. Well, technically Michael, but I know they watch as a team, so I'm including both of you. So there you go, guys. You win the Call of Cthulhu Keeper's Handbook. It's actually nice to have like a real prize for
However, I do want
Something
to see.
tangible.
something
I
tangible.
want them to film the gladiatorial combat of which one actually gets to keep it.
Yes. Yeah, film
And
the
then put that
unboxing
on.
video of
Yeah.
the PDF. Just hey. Well done, guys. Congrats. So we're going to need your email address so you can send it to me or Dust. Just email us. I think I have your email, but send it to us anyway. Just say, I won the Keeper's Handbook, and I will forward that to Dustin, and Dustin will hook you guys up. And again, a huge thank you to Dustin for doing that. Messaging you right now. Thanks, buddy. So great. And if you're part of like a I guess a company or has stuff, I know there's a lot of you guys that do personal things. We're working with Eldritch Essences. Half of their proceeds this entire month are going to Extra Life, which is
I'm pretty excited about that. I think I'm going to do that because
buy
I
a
like
candle?
smelly things.
You should,
Yeah.
Hey, I literally have not one but 2 candles lit right here on either side.
Who doesn't like candles?
I adore candle. I literally have a candle tattooed on my arm, so there's no reason not to like candles. Candles are a big get for me. But no, so Eldritch Essences, we're working with him. Half of his proceeds are going towards Extra Life. So if you're part of something or you own something and you want to help out, I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to do something like that with a mid-game post or something, let us know. Is that shitty? I don't know. Is that shitty of asking that? Maybe? Now I'm thinking maybe that's not good. But you know what? Do whatever you want, or just give the proceeds to charity as well. But if you have something like that and you want to share it, then let us know, because we would love to shout out.
And just to remind everyone, we're almost $250 away from our Invictus calendar. So if you guys want to see us celebrating months, which you do.
I'm going to be like at the edge of a wood.
Give you samples.
Yeah. Oh, those are the calves of God. I'm going to be like wearing like a lumberjack
something
fucking suspenders. And like nothing else, just the suspenders at like the edge of a wood.
All of us only in Santa hats.
Just Santa hats and like covering everything else.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'll do the Old Spice guy.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
a great
that's
one.
good.
Yeah.
I think I'll just post the picture that I did for Justin's goodbye.
Please do.
This is a very good photo.
The boudoir photo I took.
I have it right here.
Watch the stream.
I keep it on the
on your nightstand, just in case.
My nightstand,
Just in case you can't fall asleep.
For those cold, lonely
right
nights.
next to my picture of Tori.
I actually, and then
Oh,
before
it's in
bed,
like a booklet frame.
I keep it on her side of the
just
bed.
slide it in front of the picture. And you're like,
Like picture in picture.
that'd be amazing. I was actually going to write you an in-theme goodbye letter, like from the trenches, and be like, "My dearest Justin, it's been too long since I felt the warmth of your touch." Sorry, we're not just rambling for no reason. Chris is changing a diaper, so we're just killing
His
But
own.
whose? Yeah.
mine. He's right behind me. It's fantastic. But yeah, no, spooky stream, guys. I really want you to be there because it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of good spooks. And I'm like an open book on those. You know, if you're ever like, hey, I wonder what underwear Harlan wears, or I wonder the first time Harlan ever got punched in the face, that's the time to ask, because there's no filter, unfortunately, in the worst kind of way.
You tend to have alcoholic beverages on Spooky Stream, which you don't when you're usually streaming, correct?
I like that you think that, but I don't. No, I don't drink. Like, the last time I drank during a stream was trapped in the elevator. But no, spooky streams, I drink coffee.
You mentioned you were drinking Crown Royal last time.
No, that was trapped in an elevator with a murderer. Because I still have the bottle here because I'm lazy. I'm gonna put it away.
Unlike Alex, who's just drinking like vodka straight from the bottle.
He drinks like any chance he gets. He's like, "You want to go for breakfast?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Vodka? No, it's good, buddy." Dustin says, "My pleasure," since Chris is still not here.
He's here. He's just.
Well, he's not, you know. Dustin says his pleasure and the best part is getting to spread some joy. So thank you, Dustin, for spreading some joy and helping us spread some joy. And you get a little bit of a clap. There he is.
Back in time for the clap.
Back in time for the clap.
What the clap?
All right. Without further ado.
Back to the clap.
Different clap.
Grimm, Chapter 7. Does anybody... You know what I should have asked? What's the subtitle of this game? Do any of you foreknow?
What?
Something about the water, child
water?
waters, or
Child
wild
waters.
Child Waters.
Isn't that pee?
It's like muddy waters.
Isn't it pee?
There's a little bit of an inside... just so anybody who's watching knows, all of the titles of every... they tell a story. They're meant to be... They're of a similar ilk. You should check that out. It's a neat little... All right, let's go.
Something's on fire, correct?
Yeah, just past the field, you see the orange flames of a massive fire lick the sky.
I think we should go that way.
What? You don't know who it is?
What do you mean? It's fire. I start walking.
How much flame is there? Is this like a forest fire or is it a campfire?
No, it's much more than a campfire, but it's not a forest fire. It's coming from the direction of what Matty knows is the waterfront. And I guess now we can start revealing that there is a map to this.
Yes, please. I got confused.
I know.
I'm very bad with directions.
Okay, so. Oops. I will share. Actually, let me minimize that. Okay, I think that's... Yeah, here we go. So here's my terrible...
Oh my god.
Map. So, Maddie, you started out here on the lake, and here's the gray fog you walked through to the mill. This is the road that you guys went down. Here's the mound that Justin, you emerged from. This is the field that you were in, Joe. And up here is the graveyard that you came from, Tam. So, essentially, you've come from the water. Matt, you ran up past this little fire, which is on fire right now. And you got Tam, you came back down, and you two sort of met here on either side of the road.
What's the purple thing in the lake?
That's just where Michael's start point was.
Okay.
These are your colors.
Cool.
Makes sense-ish?
Yes, so we don't have to go through the fog to get to the fire where we want to go.
Correctamungo.
Excellent. So I'm very quickly going to check my satchel, my adventuring satchel, and just see, because I got my whip out, so I'm holding that. Got my adventuring hat out, look and see my coat, and I lift that up because I'm looking to see if I have any marshmallows in there, if we're heading to a bonfire, but I don't. I've just got like a half-eaten pack of Twizzlers and some of the Joe Louis that I took from Luke's house.
Just like real life.
I believe.
Marie looks around at everybody. Do you guys all have bags? I had to get mine from the scary man.
And I pull out just like the little bag that I carry with me. It's like a little carrying sack thing. I have this. It's got a few things in it.
I only have my glasses, and I reach into my left pocket and I pull out a marble and this.
Oh, you kept it.
Yeah.
What do you have in there, Maddie? Anything else? And she goes to look in your bag.
Well, of course I got my marble, and I pull that out from my pants pocket because
Why does
I
everyone
like to
have
roll
a
around
marble?
with it in my pocket.
I don't have a marble.
Well, I will give you one soon. I remember I did. Here, and I grab another one out of the bag, and I say, you might as well have it now.
Thank you. She puts it in her bag.
Also in my satchel, I don't have much else. There's a lot of candy wrappers. There's a couple cassette tapes that have some of the actual tape rolled out, and I've got a pen in there just to make sure that I can roll them tight.
Maddie's mixtape.
Maddie's mixtape.
That's right.
But I do have a first aid kit because we're adventurers and detectives. So other than a magnifying glass that I usually use to start little fires as opposed to actually look for things, because that's more Georgie's thing.
How do you
Marie,
have all this stuff, Maddie?
Adventuring. That's
Have
what
you
we
been here
do
for a while.
every time we go. I've got my satchel because Indiana Jones had a satchel.
I just don't know how you have it here. I don't
Are we
get.
getting closer to the fire?
Are you walking towards it?
Yeah, we are. We are.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, when you walk down that small little road to the corner, to the crossroads, with the mill on the other side, you can see the fire, and it's engulfed that house, that odd-looking house that the two of you had passed. And as you're walking, you see Marie pulling out her stuff, and she turns to you guys, showing you what's in her backpack.
I got let's see, Swiss
cheese.
Swiss Army knife.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got someone else's initials on it. I have a can of spray paint, 1 candle, 2 packs of Fun Dip, 1 pack of Bazooka Joe bubblegum, 1 Choose Your Own Adventure book, pencils. She's looking in the bottom, crayons, my softball. She holds out a compact, that makeup goes in, and she puts it away really quickly. She's like, this thing.
Actually, Maddie, give me a seek roll real quick.
Alrighty, if I can. Sorry, I gotta.
Just for funsies.
Yeah.
We're gonna say grade 4.
All right. Well, well, I only got a 3, and my seek is a 3.
So yeah, no, never mind.
Okay.
All right, so you turn the corner and you see that the large flame is coming from that house that you had passed, that Luke led you past, and that Tam and you subsequently passed. The one that sort of felt off about it, and the flames are licking from every corner of it. It's the entire building is engulfed, and as the 4 of you walk down the dirt road towards it, you see it's got a large porch on the front of it. It's again once white outside. Wooden slats are now bathed in flame. The pillars of the porch again are being licked clean by the hungry fire, and the door to the front is open. And as you continue towards it, I'm gonna say, well, it doesn't matter who. Somebody give me a seek roll.
I can add
I'll give
2 to my seek.
Then you should do it.
Now
And
remember,
it's-
you can also double up, meaning that you can use teamwork. So anyone, as long as you have one grade in the skill, you can essentially just give your die to somebody else. So if in this case Marie was going to do it, and the 3 of you wanted to help her, you just give your die and she rolls that many die.
I think I will help her.
Yeah, I'll look too.
Well, that can be used for anything, so keep that in mind.
It says I gain a +2 advantage on seek tests made to notice or find smaller hidden things.
This is not going to apply to that because this is a listen, technically.
Okay. Is that a different skill? No, seek.
No.
So I only have a 3 in seek, actually, then.
So they'll each be aiding you, so you get to roll 4 die.
Oh, great.
So use that a lot, guys, because it's helpful. Perfect. So like one of those.
Here, let me put my ear next to yours.
And I can roll 1 more.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we'll take that. So
So-
you succeeded at a grade above, which is what?
4.
Perfect. As you approach, Marie, you hear the fires of the building cracking the wood and burning the drapes inside, and you also hear something else. You hear a voice come from within the house, a timid voice saying, "Help! Help!"
Do I recognize the voice?
No.
Guys, I think there's someone in there.
What do you mean there's someone in there?
I hear someone's calling for help.
And as the 4 of you approach, you all begin to hear it. Standing to where you can feel the fire on your face, you can hear a voice shouting, "Help! Help me, please," from the second story.
I instantly begin looking around to see if there is a hose anywhere or something attached to the lake that's just beyond the house.
Okay, so you run around the house towards the lake. Now it is autumn, but the lake is frozen, solid. And the house is sitting next to the water, and there is a dock, but nothing seems to be accessible from where you are. In fact, getting close to the house at all begins singeing the hairs of your skin. It's extremely hot.
Do you guys see any way to put it out?
No
I
way.
instinctively reach into my left-hand pocket, going for my cell phone, and then I have a moment of like, "What the fuck was I just? What?" And then I think of like maybe I saw something on a Star Trek episode that would be like some long-term communicator, but no, I got nothing.
Marie yells at the house, "Can you make it to the window?"
And the voice is, "No, I can't help. Please help me."
Are you trapped?
Yes.
Oh no. It's really fiery.
Tam?
Maybe we could try something a little different, guys. I think I saw a rain cloud on our way over here. Didn't you?
What are you talking about? No, I didn't. It's a starry night.
No, I definitely saw something. It was starting to look like a downpour was coming. And I start to try to imagine and think about the rain. And the last time I saw the rain, and how it always makes me feel happy because I know it means that it's feeding the earth and Mother Nature is giving back.
And I'm actually going to aid him or her. I'm going to aid her because part of my one of my skills is being a social chameleon, where I can take on the skills of other characters.
Nice.
And so I will do the I think I can by trying to picture what Tam was picturing.
Remember that time, Maddie? Like, we were going to go camping and we were trying to put up the tent and it was just this downpour.
Oh my god, and it sucked so bad because everything was soaking.
Yeah, but it was also kind of fun.
Well,
as it rained, we saw these streams come, and it was basically a little river at our feet. And as I picture this, I look up to the sky and try to see if there's any formations of clouds or anything.
Give me an imagination roll.
Okay.
Does it get to use, like, if I scratch one of mine off, he can use one, right?
You don't have to scratch one of your own.
Oh, okay.
Because this is the same as aiding, like you're talking.
Aiding? Okay.
Yeah, so he can give 3.
I can do 3 die?
Correct, because you have 2. Don't you roll 2d6 for imagination?
Yep, I do.
Yeah. See?
So I got a 6, so I re-roll one of those die, right?
Yeah.
So I got a 6, 2 to 1, so I'll re-roll the 6. I got another 6.
Again.
Again. And a 3.
Okay. So
you see it too, don't you, Maddie?
What,
remember.
What level did you succeed at?
So 2 levels above 9, so 11.
Wow. Okay.
Torrential downpour.
Yes. So the 4 of you begin hearing rumbling in the sky. And you begin seeing the formation of a cloud above the house.
Oh my gosh.
And
You're right.
As the cloud begins forming, and you see the beginning of droplets fall onto the house, and in an instant, the house is being pelted by thick, wet drops of rain. However, the flame continues to burn brightly.
What do we do?
I don't know why it's not working. Is it helped at all? Does it look like the flames have changed?
No, and actually, anybody give me a seek, because there's no notice. Now, Marie, this would be a 2d6 if you wanted to.
Now, I have an advantage against like magical because of my observancy as my ability.
Okay.
In GRIMM lands, I have almost superhuman awareness of the surroundings. A dreamer may expect
then
one
you
magic.
Then you don't have to roll. Here we go.
Okay.
You notice that you've now been standing in front of this burning building for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, even before you sussed up the cloud. The flame is not eating away at the wood. In fact, the entire building, while covered in flames, it's not, and you can feel the heat on your face, but it's not actually consuming the wood. And Georgie, as your Georgie, give me an imagination roll, please.
I explain this to everyone obviously as well. I say, that house isn't on fire. And I take a step forward as I see Georgie, I don't know, think as he does.
And you take a step forward and you feel the flame is too hot to be able to withstand, and you need to take a step back.
My eyebrows furrowed. I stick my hand to my chin and see if there's anything in the old think box that gives me an idea. So my imagination's only 2, so success at a grade 2 level.
That's fine. It's not necessarily the imagination of an idea that you're looking for. You stand there and you hear your father's voice again. And all he says is, Maddie knows.
Maddie, what do you think? What are we supposed to do here?
Okay, I got it. And I reach into my satchel and I pull out my jacket, and my first instinct is to think, what would Indiana Jones do? So I run up and I try to throw myself out a window to dive through it and bash you, and I hit it and I fall down.
So
like,
even as you're running towards the fire, you get there and you smash. You hit the window, but you're so hot as you get there.
And then all of a sudden I remember Luke's words, and he's like, if you can't see it, it won't hurt you. We can walk through this. Close your eyes.
Don't be crazy.
I don't know, Maddie.
And again, because I've just witnessed Tam once again perform magic, I fully believe that as I go through, even if this doesn't work, what Luke said, that Tam's power is going to protect me.
So
And
as you're
I close my eyes and start to walk towards it.
And as you close your eyes, sort of like the dimming of a light, you can feel the warmth on your face begin to fade. And as you walk towards the fire, it feels ice cold. But from the three's perspective, you are walking into flames.
Maddie, no!
It's working, guys. It's working. Trust me. Just do it. And then I'm trying to feel the wall for where the door might be.
And you
so
do,
I
and
grab it.
you touch the door frame. And again, the three of you see Maddie engulfed in flames.
You're at the door, Maddie. You can do it.
We can all do it. Just believe in yourselves and believe it won't hurt you. And I open the door. Hello, I'm invincible!
And you open your eyes and you're dead instantly. No, so you enter, and again, you're sort of feeling around, and you can hear a voice calling from upstairs. Help, help, please.
Where are you? Where are you? I'm coming to save you. Close your eyes. It'll be okay.
I'm upstairs.
And I'm walking and bumping my head into the walls and feeling around to like moving it, pushing a chair aside. And
yeah, and you feel the banister, and you're moving up against the wall, and you're touching the pictures and the portraits on the walls as you're moving up.
And then I start using my whip to just kind of reach out, and if it hits anything, then I know not to go that way.
Yeah, and you're sort of like a blind man. You're sort of whipping things, and you whip a small child in the face. No, and the voice, timid and small, you hear it as you round a corner in a room. And the voice says, "Please, please help me."
Who are you? It's okay.
I please help.
Where, come, take my hand.
I can't.
What? Why? Where are you? I can't see you because you have to keep your eyes closed.
And as you walk into the room, growing closer to the voice, your hand touches on the thin metal wire of a cage.
What? Do you have a pet dog?
No.
Do you want me to save the dog?
No, please help me. And as you sort of touch the cage, you feel the small beak of a bird nip at your finger and move with the words it's speaking. Help me, please.
What? Sure. Is it you? You're who I'm here for?
Please, yes. Help me. I'm locked.
Okay. Can I lift the cage?
So yeah, you try to reach to the top of the cage, and it feels like it's chained to the roof.
Okay. Can I feel where the door is?
Yeah, so you kind of feel around the cage, and you do feel there's a small little padlock on what you could feel would be the door.
Padlock. And can I open it? Or is it...
No, you feel there's a little key needed for it.
If only I was where Georgie started. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna.
We call it Maddie.
Bed?
I'm sure we call out at some point. Maddie, are you okay in there?
Yeah, no, it's good, guys. There's a bird. There's a bird in a cage. Then the bird can talk.
Come down.
You guys come up. Just close your eyes. It's locked. It needs a key. We need to find a key.
A key? And I reach into my pocket and I pull out a key that was sitting at the bottom, the one from the beginning. And I look at the flames and I hand the key to Tam. And I look into her eyes and I say, I can't do it. You have to.
And I hold his hand and I say, I'll do it this time. but next time you should try. And so I start walking with my eyes closed towards the door. I'm coming, Maddie.
And
I
again,
have
as
the
you
key.
walk,
Just keep your eyes closed, Tam. You'll be fine.
yeah, the heat begins to fade off your face, and you again enter. You feel the wood of the door frame, and you follow Maddie's voice up to the room as well.
Is there a bed nearby?
You don't know. You can
Well,
feel.
I was feeling around for
yeah,
a bed or something.
sure.
Okay, because I want to pull a blanket off and do my best to cover the cage so that the bird can't see.
Okay. Good. Would have insta-died as well.
Open the gate, burst in flame.
Well, now we've got roast parrot to eat.
I
So-
hand Matt the key.
Yeah, so you walk into the room and you hand Matt the key, and Maddie, you feel the small key in your fingers.
Oh, awesome. Awesome, Tam. See, I told you. It's your magic. Your magic is protecting us.
We really need to work on Georgie. He's not confident enough.
The two of
And
you are saying
outside-
this with eyes closed.
Outside, Marie's holding Georgie's hand. She's like, "It's okay. I don't want to go inside either."
It's too. I can't believe it. It doesn't make any sense.
It's okay.
Hurry up, you guys!
So does the key work?
With a click, the padlock falls silently almost to the floor. You can still hear the flames loudly cracking the wood around you, despite the fact that you know they're not eating away at the wood.
And do you trust me? I asked the bird.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, just trust me. And I open my satchel. I'm like, get inside. It'll help protect you while we get out to the others.
And you hear and feel a flutter of a bird landing in your satchel.
All right, and I close it. All right, can you breathe okay?
Yeah, yes, I
Or
can
is it
breathe.
too late as I fall down the stairs?
Yeah, exactly. So, the bird is in your satchel, and the three of you begin heading down the stairs with your eyes closed.
I make sure I pick up the padlock on the way out.
Give me a seek roll. It's a small
Okay.
padlock, and it's a shag carpeting.
I'm going to step up.
Shag carpeting.
Shag carpet.
I'm going to step up anyways.
Okay.
Step it up.
So
that
that's when
means
time's
I
not
don't-
a factor.
And is time a factor?
Well,
I can hold my eyes closed forever.
Can you though? I'm gonna start making you hold like.
Okay. Well, I got a 4.
Okay. For Scamper?
You said for seek.
Well, he's picking up the padlock. That's why I want him to seek.
Oh, okay.
I will roll.
Okay.
I rolled a 1.
So grade below.
So I got to roll again.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I rolled a 6. What
Okay,
does
so
that
you're
mean?
back up. No, I
Do I
think.
roll again?
No, I
No,
think
it doesn't
the
look like
6 is
that.
yeah, I think it's the success. So you succeeded at a grade below.
Okay, so it's not bad, whatever it might be. So grade 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so no, you do grab the padlock. You scoop
And-
it up, and Matt, as you're at the top of the stairs, you give me a Scamper roll. You said you succeeded?
Yeah. Yes. So I also tell Tam to grab the blanket.
Okay. Tam grabs the blanket. Yeah. I won't make you seek that.
Are you gonna walk out and it's just like on fire?
Yeah, the blanket's eyes are closed.
Maybe I, need to,
Yeah.
maybe I need to drop the lock when I look at it. I don't know.
Okay, so the three of you head down the stairs, head out to the area next to Marie and Georgie.
All right. And I go, look what we found. This is what we saved. You're free to come out now. It's okay.
And as you open the satchel, it bursts into... No, I'm just kidding. Ah.
It's okay. As I said, we got chicken wings now, or parakeet wings.
Almost
or-
instantly, a little blackbird flies out of the satchel and lands on Marie's cast. And it sort of looks around at the four of you. Hello, thank you. Thank you so much. And again, it flutters up and lands on Georgie's shoulder, sort of stretching its wings and neck as it does.
Who are you?
And it looks around. I don't know. I don't think
You're a
anyone's
little
ever asked me
bird.
that. Well, I suppose so, yes.
Wow.
Why were
I
you?
grab.
Why were you
I look in Maddie's bag for some spits, and I grab some bird. No, what are they called? Sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds, yeah.
And I walk over to the bird and start offering it to him.
And the bird, which the voice is female, flies up and lands on your hand and starts pecking them hungrily and greedily from your palm, gobbling them down as it does.
And I hand the blanket. I take the blanket from Tam and hand it to Georgie and Marie, and just be like, "I got this for you guys, because next time you're scared, you just hide under the blanket."
Thanks, Maddie.
Thanks.
And then I kind of throw my hat back in the satchel, because now I'm like, I don't even need Indiana Jones, because I'm like the superhero blind man. I can do this.
I look the bird in the eye as if she's eating.
And the eye of the blackbird is still.
Complete
I
black.
want to say lifeless, but it's not lifeless. It's just complete black, yeah. Like a shark's
What were you
eyes.
Who put you in there?
In the cage?
Yeah.
BB did.
BB.
BB.
Who's BB?
BB's a mean old lady that lives down the way there, and she sort of points to the area between the trees south on this road.
Georgie, where'd you get that key?
I got it right after I woke up. There was a strange creature keeping prisoners, I don't know, and he had a key next to a fireplace, and I grabbed it before I left.
I'm sorry, and I apologize to the bird. This is very rude of us. My name's Tam. This is Maddie, Georgie, and Marie.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you want to come with us?
And the bird sort of stops for a second, pecking at the seeds, and looks around and says, "Yeah, I'd love to. Let me help you." And she sort of flutters up and again lands on Maddie's hair on top of your cowboy hat and says, "I can help you. What are you looking for?"
We're looking for a girl. Right, Marie? Marie?
Yeah, I mean, I am.
Then we all are. It's what we do at Cool Kids Incorporated. And by the way, the whole time we've been walking, I'm trying to talk Marie into, because now it's equal.
You have a club?
Yeah, we do. It's called Cool Kids Incorporated. Well, it would be if you want to vote with me and vote on it that way, because otherwise it's like seeing is believing, and I don't think that's as cool as Cool Kids are Incorporated.
I want to be a cool kid.
Yeah, you do. See? We'll talk about it later, but I just, just so you know. It's better to be cool kids.
Have you seen my sister?
And the little blackbird sort of turns her head to the side and says, "I don't know. I see a lot of children. But if anyone would know, the Grove would."
The Grove?
And she flies down from your shoulder onto the ground and sort of excitedly hops and says, "The Grove! The Grove knows everything. Let me take you there." And she kind of flies up and flutters and lands on Tam's shoulder.
How does a place know anything? What do you mean?
The Grove is not a place. The Grove knows everything.
Well, should we wait until the sun comes up?
Oh, there's no sun here. It's always like this. And the bird sort of cocks its head to the sky back and forth.
Why? How long? Has it always been like this?
As
Did
long
you
as
just
I've
say
been
that?
here.
What shall we call you, little bird?
I don't know. No one's ever asked my name, she says, and again she flutters up onto Marie's cast.
Maybe
What
we
about
can
Spitz?
name you something. Yeah, Spitz. You like those seeds, didn't you?
Spitz is a great name, says the bird. And she sort of caws a little blackbird song, whatever that might be.
Well, Spitz, we might as well go to the Grove. Will you take us there?
Excitedly, she begins flying, and she sort of flies alongside and brings you back down the way that you came. And as you go, she sort of whistles a sweet tune, a nameless tune. And I will screen share so you can see. So you begin heading down the south road past the fire, along this road, which again is past the mound that Justin awoke. And she stops right here, sort of next to the
Squiggly line.
yeah, next to these squiggly beautiful lines towards the tree grove. And all the way she's sort of singing and dancing and very happy to be free. And she lands on your shoulder, Maddie, as you're walking, and says, "Thank you so much for freeing me."
Oh, it's all part of a day's work in Cool Kids Incorporated. It's what we do.
What is Cool Kids Incorporated?
It's
the group
nothing. He's
that we
just
belong
making
to.
up words.
And she again
club-
flutters up and lands on your shoulder, Tam.
And I whisper in her ear so that Maddie can't hear. I say, it's actually called seeing is believing.
What is seeing is
Maddie
believing?
always wanted.
She
Shh,
says
Spitz.
with a bit of a cocked head.
Seeing is believing, I say out loud, kind of exasperatedly, is the real name we came up with. And I look over at Matt after we voted. But Matt wants to be called Cool Kids because he doesn't think he's cool, but he is cool. So we don't need to call ourselves that.
And Georgie is staring at the ground, seemingly his brow furrowed, lost in thought.
And the bird continues on and says, "Took, but what is it? What I don't understand. What is seeing is believing? Is this your name?"
We are a group, and you can be part of it, where we go and we solve problems. If there's people in need, we help them. You were in need. That's what we do.
And the bird lands on the ground, sort of stopping as you walk, and says, "There are always people in need here."
It's true. Right now, we think Marie's sister is in need. And so we're going to see if we can find her and help Marie, because Marie's in need as well.
And
maybe we can
also, we were looking for Luke, maybe, right?
We're definitely looking for Luke.
And we're looking for a way out.
Well,
A way to get back to my dad, our families.
Let's hope that Grove has lots of answers.
Maybe we can end up somewhere better than home.
right? I agree.
And the bird flutters up and lands on George's head, because George is sort of in the lead, and she's sort of turned around, facing the three of you.
Do you have to land on my head?
And you brush her off, and she sort of flutters down towards the ground. And obviously Georgie's upset by something, and she turns, says, "What is home?"
Oh, forget it. Let's just go to the Grove.
And Georgie begins walking a bit ahead of the three of you.
Spitz, when we see the Grove, how should we address it?
And she sort of says, "Well, if the Grove wants to speak to you, it will address you. Don't worry." And she kind of takes off and begins flying just up ahead to the crossroads. And you arrive at the crossroads. Not the crossroads, a crossroad. And at the edge of the wood, you see sort of a dark, the trees sort of leaning in. All the trees in this area are, in shades of autumn. But with the night sky the way it is, everything's painted in a gray, a dull gray, a black and white. So while you can tell that the colors of the leaves are different than each other, you trust yourself that they are the autumn colors. And the bird standing at the crest of the mouth of the wood lifts up and flies into the darkness.
What do the woods look like? Are they a friendly, happy place?
They're ominous
You're
and
really going
dark.
for that.
The path is mud covered and water strewn in lines, as if snakes or wheels carved the path ahead. Something inhuman followed this way.
This woods looks like it hasn't had a friend walk through it in some time.
And the bird left.
The bird has gone ahead, yeah.
Spitz!
Let's follow him.
Her. And you do. You begin walking into the woods, and as you sort of make your way through the woods, you feel eyes upon you. The trees creak and groan as you make your way silently your steps sort of soft and wet on the earth floor.
I take a moment and I pull the acorn out and I plant it like at the foot of some older trees. There. They'll look after you. I catch up to the rest of the group.
Okay. And as you continue on, the trees begin to loom closer and closer until you see sort of a small opening. And it opens up again to the sky, a small field with grass maybe knee-high, and a tree, an ancient oak, standing in the center. And you see the small bird, Spitz, sitting on a stone next to the grand tree.
Do we get an impression that this is a dangerous place?
You get the impression that everything in this world could be dangerous. Because it's just an awkward, scary, dark place.
Okay. Marie's gonna hide kind of behind one of the trees on the edge of the clearing without going any further.
Okay.
And I'll reach into the satchel and grab the blanket and kind of put it over her head. And just be like, if you need to, just pull it down, Marie.
Thanks,
You'll be
Marie.
safe there.
Thanks.
Is this the grove? Is this it?
And
Make sure you leave room for Georgie.
Spitz sort of dances on the stone, and she looks up towards the grand ancient oak, and then looks back at you, and she turns and says, "These children seek the grove."
Do I recognize the oak tree?
No. And the tree's limbs creak, but they don't move. The pieces of knotted wood, like teeth, sort of within it, begin to quiver slightly, as a voice sounds out of the dark trunk of the tree. And you hear, "The grove will aid." And the voices sound out from all the trees in the area. Marie, the tree you're standing next to speaks, "The grove will aid." All in unison, a sea of singing voices, guttural and inhuman. And the bird motions towards you, and before you the tree cracks open and splinters, small pieces of wood filling the night air like a fog almost, very briefly, and they sputter to the ground. And from within the tree a skinless face leans out, streaked with like black viscera, and it leans forward towards the three of you standing beneath it.
Can I close my eyes?
"I am the grove."
I want to speak to it, but do I need to do a pluck roll?
For fear?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I'll give. Pluck rolls all around, except for Marie. Except for Marie, who's at the back.
Oh, I got a 6.
Oh, nice.
So I succeed at a grade 7.
Well, I got a 3. So that means I succeed at my level?
Yes.
You're gonna do it anyway. What?
Oh, nice.
And I got a 1 and a 4.
Okay. Grade 6.
Okay. So, yeah, Marie, although you seem scared, your pluck doesn't seem so. You feel confident enough to approach. But, Georgie, you feel extremely confident looking the thing straight in the eye. And, sorry, Maddie and Tam, which did you succeed at?
I got just a level 1.
Okay, so Tam, you feel pretty grounded in reality in this one instant. You feel like the nature of this tree
sobering.
It's not whimsical. It's horrific, and it feels visceral and sinewy.
I kind of regret planting the acorn here.
Yeah, it feels.
It's like I dropped a baby.
Geiger-esque. It feels Geiger-esque in these woods. I don't think
At a prison, a baby at a prison.
Yeah, it's like babies are well.
and
So I look the tree in the eyes and I say, "You say you'll aid us?"
It's sort of, and the face is almost human, but it has no nose. Its eyes are bone white, but there are red veins in it, and its mouth is sort of toothless, but hanging low. The lips loose and wavering with each word. "If you have questions, I can answer."
Why? What's in it for you? For helping us?
And the grove
gain?
sort of laughs, sort of around you, just sort of a guttural, again, almost like a creaking, like an applauding, almost. And the creature sort of just turns its head from within the trunk side to side and says, "It is in us to aid those who seek to change."
We don't have much to offer you for your help. So you're saying you'll do this for free? No strings attached?
The grove sees much of what exists. It sees 4 children, and it eyes each of you. While it has no pupils, you can feel the cold, pale eyes following each of you. It sees all. The change you wish to make, the creature which you wish to hunt, hurts us as well.
Ooh. Well, before we get to the hunting, I say as I look back to the other 3, we're looking for 2 of our friends. One of them's a girl and looks like her, and one of them's a boy and his name's Luke. Do you know them?
And the tree, the grove, sort of turns its head. And just again to visualize this, it's like the tree is split open, and this almost human-like head, this inhuman head, again pale white and bald, off color, is sort of within it, just eyeing you.
Marie walks forward. She goes through her book bag, and her adventure book is bookmarked with a picture of her and her siblings. This one, her name's Sarah. Is she here?
And each sigh, the groaning tree sort of shudders through the grove, all the leaves sort of rustling. Touch the trunk. And below the face is sort of a pale, sort of a smooth area of the tree, barkless, about the size of a palm of a hand.
She hesitates for a second and then reaches forward.
Okay. And you touch it. And as you do, you can feel almost like a heartbeat within the tree. And the entire grove again shudders. And the face sort of almost lurches back for a moment between the cracks, and then turns again towards Georgie. The creature you seek has changed the world you know. The world you've left behind is in ruins. This is a timeless void. The creature roams free in your realm, but you can change this. And it looks to Tam. This land has gone by many names. Shadow Realm. And as it says Shadow Realm, the words of the grove again sort of echoes. Shadow Realms. Dreamlands. And again they kind of echo. The Fade. And again they kind of say the Fade, kind of echoing on top of each other. The Underworld. And again, the grove sort of weird, like different voices, some now darker and some lighter. Here in this part, we call it the Grimlands. The creature you seek was not born here. I cannot tell you how you can defeat him, but its history will reveal its demise. And then he looks back to Marie, whose hand is now receding from the bark. Your sister, your friend, your families. What was left of them was in the graveyard and taken.
Maybe you have the wrong idea, Mr. Grove, because I'm not hunting anything, I don't think, except there was a scary man who gave me my backpack. Is that the guy?
In the world you came from, you released something onto it. And as he speaks, something happens within the grove. The space between the sky and the edge of the wood fills with sort of a dim light. The sky acts like a blank canvas, and each of you look up. reviewing the actions taken previously at Harper's Hill. Looking up, you see yourselves standing in the wood, the tall creatures whose legs looked like trees dancing back and forth. You remember diving into Harper's resting place, the home where her bones remained. You remember flicking the lighter and lighting them. You remember that it didn't work, that the creature was released, and you see Harper's Hill in flames. A time since you had left it, you see this creature, this stalking creature, the one that dragged Georgie into the fireplace, the one made of blackness and darkness. You see it roaming places that you had never even been. You see Paris in flames. You see London completely destroyed. You see the world a black pit. And as the vision fades, the grove continues. This is the world you left behind. This is the world your actions created.
What? That can't be. You're saying if we went back right now, that's what we'd be coming back to?
There is nothing to go back to. Not until you have fixed what was made mistaken. And you can see as it's talking, it's getting weaker, as if it's losing air. And it says again, the creature you seek, the creature who destroyed the world you left, was not born here, but its soul resides here. Its reason, its spirit, and its appetite. If you can find these three pieces, its history will reveal its demise. And as its dying breath concludes, you can seek the appetite in the graveyard. You have a last question for it? It might have one more answer.
And the other parts?
You'll have to seek them out. And as the grove begins to descend back into the tree, the creaking of the wood around it, it speaks one final word. But the revenge this creature seeks is not its own. Be wary. And with that, the knots in the tree close, and it stitches like a zipper back, and the rustling of the trees silences, and the night sky returns to what it once was.
Wait, what do we need? How do we destroy it? What do we...
And in a hush, the grove just washes away the sound.
And Georgie falls to his knees and begins to whimper, his back rising and falling.
I'm sorry, Georgie. I couldn't help you. I was too afraid. Trees aren't supposed to be like that. That tree was cruel.
Nothing's like supposed to be like this, Tam. Nothing at all. This world makes no sense at all. No logic at all to it. It's unpredictable. I don't know what to expect. I don't know how to act. I'm useless.
That's
Georgie,
not true. We have to think about things, and you're smart. Listen, that wasn't a dream that we all had. We were old, and now we're little again.
I'm afraid it's my fault after all. I wasn't supposed to come back, and I did. Or did I? The deal I made, guys, to make sure Luke was okay. I broke that promise when I came back.
What deal?
Matt and I know about the deal, right?
You do. Yeah. So, in 1982, the last night after Thomas Edwards was found, again, the three of you ran to stop Luke from jumping off the tallest tower of the clubhouse. And as you did, the bridge broke and killed Maddie and Georgie. And Tam was offered a deal by a mysterious man in gray that if they left Harper's Hill and never to return, that he would save Luke's life and spare the friends who have just passed away. But when Tam accepted the deal, it's like you watched it from a third-party perspective after the fact. It was infused in you. So each of you, including Luke, saw the man walk up, saw Tam make the decision, as if you were there in spirit form.
Well, I know that, but not Marie.
No, of course. Sorry, I was reading for the audience, okay, because it's like 10 episodes ago.
But I don't. Did it happen? I didn't. We didn't go back. I mean, that dream seems so real. Those things might have happened, but we're just kids. I was gonna leave. I swear. Maybe he's the creature. We should get out of here.
That big tree creature that I shot when we were big. That's the thing we have to kill. But it didn't care about bullets, and it fell down and it got right back up again. What did that guy say? The tree guy, we have to find the things. Georgie, you remember.
Eyes glistening, I look up at her and I say, our home is gone. It's destroyed. There's nothing there. Everybody's dead.
What if we can go back in time? Like we are now? What if we can go back to when, before any of this happened?
I don't think that's... Can we just imagine that? Can we just imagine that we're back in time and in this crazy, fricked up world it'll actually happen? If I close my eyes...
I don't know, Georgie, but I hate to see you sad.
I walk over to Spitz and I pick her up and I put her on my shoulder. Thank you for bringing us here.
The Grove is scary, but they see everything, and they're here to help. This land is dark. There is a creature that lived here for a long time. He left pieces of himself behind. I think that's what the Grove spoke of.
The appetite in the graveyard.
That's but one piece of him, yes.
Do you know about the other pieces? Where they are? What they look like? How we find them? What we do when we find them?
No, but I'm sure there are people around that could help.
I only met one guy and he was awful.
Who was that?
He's very tall, with skinny arms and legs, and a gray face, and a big smile with lots of teeth, and he gave me my backpack because I sold him a song.
You meant the man with lots of teeth?
Yeah, he had like a broken toothbrush and a flashlight.
You met the Ragman.
Yeah, the Ragman.
He may actually be helpful. And the bird flutters up and lands on Marie's shoulder.
I met someone too. And he gave me this, and I show him the gold coin that I have.
The same guy?
No, it doesn't sound like the same guy. This man was burly and gray hair, and his eyes were hollows, torn or missing. I don't know.
Does he have a name?
He was digging graves. That's all I remember.
Okay, so we have the Ragman and the Gravedigger. Georgie, you said you met a weird guy with cages. That sounds awful.
It wasn't cages exactly. I didn't really meet him either. He was asleep. I snuck past him. I think we should avoid him.
And is BB a bad person?
BB's a terrible person. But she might be of help. She might be part of... And the little bird flutters up and lands back on the stone. This creature that the Grove spoke of, that leaves his pieces behind, he's terrorized this land and everyone in it for as long as we can remember as well. He's been gone for a long time now.
So if we destroy this appetite, I don't even know, how do you destroy an appetite? Is it like a stomach? Does he have a stomach in the graveyard that's buried?
No, the only... And the little bird sort of jolts back and says, "Oh no, he couldn't be talking about the barn." And the little bird flutters up and begins flying off into the woods.
And Georgie gets up and wipes his eyes, stomping after the bird.
And you begin working out of the grove back towards
Guys,
the
come
road. And Maddie, what are you doing? You're sort of
This whole time, Maddie's actually been curled up under the blanket with his eyes closed, just trying to process everything, listening to everyone's argument, and trying to hide the fact that he's been crying the whole time.
Aww.
And trying to rehash everything that went through his brain about the life that he had, that he thought was dream, but maybe it is. Like, he's just too much for him right now.
Spitz,
to go on.
Wait, Spitz, wait. And Georgie turns around and begins walking back to the group. And looks at the three of them, and then Maddie, who's on the ground, and Georgie kneels down and he puts his hand on Maddie's shoulder. He says, "You all right, Maddie?"
Yeah. I just needed time alone to think about it. I'm good. Shut up.
Tam, are you okay?
Yeah, I am. I want to show you guys something. And I walked to where I planted the seed. Or the acorn.
Yeah, so you walk to the edge of the grove.
And I check, I kind of push some dirt away. And I see, I think there's a chance this will all work out. And I look down and there's a little sprout growing. I think there's hope yet.
And you see Tam for the third time now, or sorry, for this second time for most of you. She reaches down and she picks up a small stone, and she holds it, and she says what she just did, and you're all sort of watching.
I smile at them and walk out of the grove.
No, you stand there holding it. Sorry, and what do you say, Georgie?
Well, as she's walking away, does something happen with the rock, or?
Well, she's standing at it,
right,
and she's just holding a rock, saying that you need to coax the whatever, or that you have the sprout coming out of it, or whatever.
Yeah.
I say, you're right, Tam. There is hope. And looking at each of them in the eyes, I say, I said back there, I lied. I said that everyone was dead and that our home is gone. But that's not exactly true.
Look around you, Georgie. I mean, this grove, it's a horrible place. I mean, I couldn't even talk to that thing. And this little acorn, it's growing already. A little bit of hope. And this acorn can be a massive tree, more powerful than the grove.
And Georgie, as you're looking to the others and you look back at Tam, you notice that the stone in her hand, it actually wasn't a stone. You thought it was. You would have sworn it was. But now as you look to each person talking about hope, you look back at the stone and you realize that it's an acorn with a small green bud sticking out of it.
Well, I'll be. Guys, can you see that? Marie? Maddie?
I told you, Georgie. I told you Tam's magic is real. We just gotta believe in it enough, and all that stuff. I remember, like, you saw me walk into the fire. You saw that by closing the eyes it couldn't hurt us. Well, Luke also told us that time works different here. Maybe if we fix our mistakes, then whatever happened, whatever you saw, maybe that won't happen, and things will work out right. Maybe
I put the acorn in Georgie's hand.
Tam, thank you. Oh, what I was going to say earlier is, and for the first time, a smile cracks Georgie's face, and he wipes another tear from his eye. Not everything's lost. I said that everyone was dead, but they're not. As long as you guys are here, I'm home. I don't know how this works, but it's amazing.
And you look around, realizing that you have each other. And Marie, you also see what was once a stone in the palm of Georgie's hand. Looks to you like an acorn with a small green bud.
Oh my gosh!
Here, Marie, hold it.
Well, that's cool, Tam.
And as you're standing there, Spitz comes back out from the wood and lands between the four of you and says, "Come, I know what the appetite is. The appetite is not. It's her." And she begins flying between the three of you, and she flutters off back through the path into the road outside.
We need to find a place for that, Georgie. You need to find a place.
Okay, I'll hold on to it for now. You guys ready?
And I quickly give Marie a hug. I just want to say, I'm really glad you're with us.
Thanks, Maddie. I hope we can find Luke, because I want to learn about how to mess with time a little bit. I just don't want to go back. Like, home. You know what I mean? Could be good.
I'm with you on that.
So, let's
We'll help the
find your
others.
friend.
And you guys follow Spitz out through the dark path of the grove. The trees still ominous and looming forward, but something with Tam's magic, I suppose, behind your eyes, it doesn't feel as daunting. It feels more like you're in control of what your choices are. And as you reach the dirt road, Spitz leads you north along the dirt path towards the graveyard. And as you turn the corner to the graveyard, and she leads you up the path, past the wrought iron doors that are wedged open, surrounded by vines and weeds, you get the eerie sense of something off. Each grave open, the headstones with various names on them, and the Spitz lands on a nearby gravestone.
So where is this she you were talking about, Spitz?
This is where she feeds. And you look down at the gravestones and you realize that they've been, or the graves, I should say, that they've been dug up, but not by shovels particularly. You see long claw marks on either side in the soft dirt, deep and jagged. And for the first time, adjusting to the light of the graveyard, you notice the spider webs, thick white webs strung deep within the gravestones, some connecting them. It almost covers the ground like grass.
Is this similar to the stuff that's like in the cornfields?
Yes.
Okay.
And the small bird lifts off and flutters to a nearby stone wall, turning towards the barn, which is, again, maybe 50 feet from the graveyard. And she turns back and says, "She lives in there, and she is most definitely his appetite." And we are going to leave it there for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Grimm Chapter 7, Child Waters. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. We're in the Grimlands, and it is going to get dark and murky and pretty creepy. And I'm excited for these guys to be doing such a fantastic job. My God, it is so nice to see you guys back in your prime, playing these characters. You're doing such a fantastic job at them. So thank you guys for playing. Secondly, thank you, the audience, for hanging out with us and chatting along and making such a freaking fantastic comment section tonight. So many great and hilarious comments, so many great compliments. You guys are absolutely fantastic, and I hope you had as much fun as we had tonight playing it for you. We ended a bit early, but I felt like that was a good stop.
A good spot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Get a little bit excited, right? So build up a little bit of that tension. So many good comments tonight. I don't know, guys. Who do you think maybe won the end game XP? Because there was a lot.
What I was trying to go through. There's so many good ones.
David John's mood worms. That was funny because I posted a picture today being like, yeah, got everything ready for tonight. And then he's like, I think I wrote woodwork. And he's like, is this mood worms?
Right.
And I was like, I should do that. This is what I wrote. Rusted wrought iron, which was the graveyard. Buttons monster, which you haven't found yet. Massive, which you haven't found yet. You haven't found. Rusted machine / dino bones, which is a line I used when Luke was climbing over the machines. There you go. 2 of the 5 things I wrote actually did come into play. Who do you guys think? Endgame.
Too many good stuff.
Too much good stuff, but someone's got to decide, and I was playing a game. So, who's it gonna be?
I was at the very beginning. I got a lot of good help about what I should give the rag guy, Mr. Ragman. Who was the first person that suggested a song?
That was good, though, by the way, the song.
Oh, it was. That was entertaining for us all.
Very good.
Thank you. Nope, not a kiss. Sorry, Michael and Brianna.
Oh, gosh.
A secret, a hair tie.
He literally would have taken anything, but like the quality of what you gave him would have depended on what you got.
It was Bjorn. Bjorn suggested the song.
Bjorn, you know what? Hey, I am always down to give it to Bjorn. So, Bjorn, well done. You win end game XP.
Yay!
My good friend. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Grimm Chapter 7. We are back next week with Chapter 8. We are ramping up to November 4th, which is the 24-hour live stream where we're going to be completing Chapter 10. It's going to be at a different time because it's 24 hours and I'm going to be awake a lot of it and I don't want to be fucking dead tired. I think it's going to be like in the afternoon, but we are ramping up. So next week we have Chapter 8, The Three Butchers. And it is going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you come back. And also make sure you stop by Friday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time because we are going to be playing Alien Isolation, the Spook Fest for Extra Life, the charity, which was the question of the mid-game post. And if you have the means and the time and the ability to, please go right now and donate to our Extra Life campaign. It is something that we very strongly believe in. It supports the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals, and it is something that we are only, $250 short from $3,500, which means we unlock our Invictus calendar. Who doesn't want to see me in a Speedo? Come on. Let's do it, guys. It's going to be themed.
Seeing is the easy part. The unseen is the hard part.
That's true, actually. I should say this: if we don't get the calendar, I'm going to send you a picture of me in a Speedo. That's the punishment. If you unlock it, you don't have to see it. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. You have yourself a fantastic night, and as my boy Chris always likes to say,
see you around the table.
We will see you around the table, guys. Good night.